convicted con man, a self-proclaimed gigolo, and now facing charges following a violent abduction and an armed standoff with police. And tonight, a woman who claims she was one of James Savage's victims is talking only with WESH 2 Investigates. Investigative reporter Greg Fox with the exclusive story of a dream romance shattered by lies, stolen money, and violence.
James Savage is facing 8 charges related to the violence that started March 15th. Deputies say he abducted a woman, shown here on security video, by beating and dragging her into a car.
There's a warrant for your arrest. Exit the front door.
He then barricaded himself in a home, firing several shots, according to the Marion County Sheriff's Office, before surrendering. His arrest prompted WESH 2 Investigates to dig into his past. Under headlines of a self-proclaimed gigolo, Savage was convicted in 2002 of swindling more than $7.7 million from 11 women. He was released from prison and 2 years ago was convicted in St. Lucie County of exploitation of an elderly or disabled adult and fraud, and ordered to pay more than $6,800 in fines and restitution. But the brutal beating was a shock to those who knew Savage intimately.
And when I saw the video, it was just horrific.
Ellen Trout saw the reports about James Savage and reached out to WESH 2 Investigates. She showed us photos of the two in 2022, romantically involved, and described a seemingly suave and savvy entrepreneur who called himself Mario Gambino, who promised to make her rich investing in cryptocurrency, but needed her money up front.
He had shown me where my 100,000 had grown to 371. Well, come to find out that wasn't my account. I gave him an additional $100,000 to buy some artwork that we were going to sell to a contact he had in Japan.
She provided us with a copy of the handwritten promise to pay back her money with interest, and one of the checks made out to Mario Gambino, LLC. That's an active company listed with the state. But look closely. The registered officer is James Savage, something she didn't know at the time. Seeing no return on investment and getting suspicious, she broke off the relationship in late 2022. Last summer, she discovered Gambino was really the convicted swindler, Savage, and filed a criminal complaint with Lantana police. She told them the man who called himself Mario Gambino claimed to be part of the Gambino crime family and that he threatened her repeatedly. But police closed the case, writing, "It is unclear at this time if there is indeed a crime," and recommended she file a no-contact order with the court. She says she was afraid to do that, afraid of what he might do. A fear she says was renewed when she saw the vicious attack on another woman March 15th.
A man that has taken $200,000 from me, I've been afraid to do anything other than skirting, the police report and get asking about a lawyer. But I've been afraid for physically from him.
Now that Savage is in custody, she feels safe and believes other women who may have been scammed by him need to contact police.
I want to say, come forward. He's now in prison. He can't hurt you. But I think they need to come forward and just put your name on the list of people that he has wronged, and one more reason why he should go back to prison.
Greg Fox, WESH 2 News.
Savage remains in Marion County Jail facing charges including aggravated battery on law enforcement officers. WESH 2 Investigates reached out to an attorney who has represented Savage in an unrelated case, but he declined to speak with us.